Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael for informational and educational purposes only. Let's get right to the news. The Bank of Japan maintains short-term interest rate target of negative 0.1%, main 10-year JGB yield target to around 0%, maintain target bands and 10-year JGBs at up down 0.5%. Decision on YCC was unanimous. Economy is picking up and likely will continue recovering moderately. CPI likely to slow pace of increase towards middle of the current fiscal year. U.S. April net overall capital flow, 48.4 billion versus 129.0 billion in March. April net official capital flow, 45.9 billion versus 40.4 billion in March. On to our sector news breakdown. Consumer, Amazon AMZN $1.7 billion acquisition of iRobot, IRBT, was cleared by the UK's antitrust regulator this morning. DraftKings, DKNG, said it delivered a letter to both the non-executive chairman and chief executive officer of PointsBet Holdings, setting forth an indicative offer to acquire its U.S. business in an all-cash transaction with a purchase price of $195 million. On to energy, industrials, and materials. Cabot CBT withdraws full year 23 EPS guidance, said sales and volumes in performance chemicals business dropped 13% in April and May compared with the same period in 2022. Cortera, CTRA, selected Talos Energy, TALO, finance head Shannon Young as its new CFO effective September 30th, succeeding Scott Schroeder, who is retiring. Envovix, ENVX, achieved its Q2 forecast of 18,000 units of its manufactured out of its Fab 1 location in Fremont. Little pop-ups going crazy here. In Fremont, and said it expects to exceed its quarterly guidance for a number of units produced with more than 2 weeks remaining in the quarter. Nucor, NUE, said it sees Q2 EPS 545 to 555, below estimate of 524. Said it expected earnings for steel mills segment to improve in Q2 of 2023 as compared to Q1. Virgin Galactic Space, SPCE, sets first commercial flight as soon as June 27th. Second commercial space flight, Galactic 2, will follow in early August 2023. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, estimated 57% of the domestic corn crop and 51% of soybeans are dealing with drought conditions, up 12% from last week for both, as the trouble spreads in the Midwest and Plains. Now on to financials. BlackRock, BLK, has filed paperwork with the SEC to establish a spot Bitcoin ETF to be known as iShares Bitcoin Trust, the filing names. Coinbase, COIN, as a custodian for the ETF's Bitcoin holdings. Regulators are seeking documents related to Goldman Sachs, GS, role in buying Silicon Valley Bank's securities portfolio while it was working on its doomed capital raise. SoFi Technologies, SOFI, downgraded to neutral from overweight. The Piper Sandler saying some outperformance is warranted, though the rise in interest rates over the last 2 months will be an incremental near-term headwind. On to healthcare. Clean CLNN said it intends to offer and sell common stock and warrants to purchase shares of common stock in a public offering. Lexicon, LXRX, said late Thursday that the US FDA has approved its oral tablet in PIFA to reduce the risk of heart failure. And no, that was not in PIFA that I just put in my mouth. Mustang Bio, MBIO, announces the final results from follicular lymphoma cohort single institution phase half clinical trial MB106, 95% overall response rate and 80% complete response rate across all patients in the study. And finally, into technology, media, and telecom, Adobe, ADBE, raises full year revenue and profit outlooks. Optimism that generate AI features will spur demand for its software. QT adjusted EPS 391 versus estimate 379. Intel INTC said it plans to invest up to 4.6 billion to set up semiconductor assembly and test facility near Wrocław, Poland. The Micron MU plans to invest 604 million over the next few years in its chip packaging facility in the Chinese city of Xi'an. And it's also nearing deal to complete 1 billion to build a similar factory in India, according to media reports. Millicom, TIGO, announces that discussions with Apollo Global Management and Flower Group regarding potential acquisition of all outstanding shares in Millicom have terminated. These discussions were referenced by Millicom in a press release it issued on January 25th, 2023. Oracle, ORCL, lays off hundreds, rescinds job offers, and cuts open positions in its $28 billion Cerner Health Unit after troubles with massive government contract. And finally, Squarespace, SQSP, said it will buy the assets of Google Domains, which will be shutting down after a transition period. And that's our news. Once again, I want to share that most people would be better off starting off with an annuity or index universal life insurance policy. Many states are now demanding long-term care for all of its residents. Washington started, California, Pennsylvania, and New York are about to move forward as well. And in the index universal life policy, for approximately $15 a month, you can get a long-term care coverage. So you don't need to be taxed by your state government for such a policy. The annuity average annual growth is 12.58. For the indices, average annual growth is 7.57. That's quite a difference. And let me now go to our heat map. See what's happening so far this morning. Looks like we got a little bit of a pullback in big cap tech. You can see Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon are all down. It's early yet, so we'll have to check at the end of the day, because remember, it's not how you open, it's how you close. Now let's take a look at some of our screens here. Screen popped up. Interesting, this Mediterranean style food based on Greek diet went public yesterday. And today is the, I guess, first full day of trading. It's not showing up what it's doing today. It was up slightly when I checked earlier. It's set up similar to Chipotle, and they have a food manufacturing plant in Virginia and in Maryland to handle all of the restaurants and future growth. So it's a pretty interesting story. We'll continue to watch it. Oh, here we go. Here's today so far, down a little bit. So we'll continue to watch that. And let's take a look at our dollar. Dollar is bouncing off of the 50-day moving average. Gold is selling off a little bit, which is usually the case. Silver is up slightly. Southern copper is down. FCX is down slightly. And Arrow copper is also down slightly, but they've all made strong moves so far. Take a look at Bitcoin. Trying to stabilize here, not much movement. And same story, even though it's up 1%, Ethereum hasn't really done too much. Look at our bonds. Bond prices are bouncing off of the 10-day moving average. Still looks like a pretty good cup with handle here. Big cup here, handle. And it could almost be this another cup with a handle here. The 20-year is bouncing off of its 10 and 20-day moving average as well. Look at the volatility index. It's kind of a little soft today, not too much. We'll have to wait until later. S&P 500 continues to trend higher. You can just see as we draw the trend line over here, that it's pretty well extended, just like the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, you'd say broke out over here, and then it broke out again over here, and had a little shallow consolidation and broke out again. So by all cases, it's well extended from the 50-day moving average. The Dow Jones down a little bit today as it continues to try to recover what it's lost. IWM, where most of the regional banks are, pulling back. Although it is in a pretty tight range, so this is slightly positive. It has only had one strong day in the last week of sell. Let's take a look at energy. Not too much happening there. Oil tries to stabilize. Natural gas. It's finally got above the $6 number. Financials, they're above their 200-day moving average for the first time. It's interesting. We got a little pullback and communications. People have been calling for this for the last week at least, as it's far extended. Biotech continues to pull back a little bit after making significant gains. Software is pulling back slightly. Technology tried to move higher and pulled back now. Infrastructure, pretty tight close. We'll just have to continue to watch that. Semiconductors, like they're trying to build a little shelf here. So that's positive that they're just going sideways. Maybe they could go sideways for a while, and while these moving averages try to catch up with them. Airlines continue to do well. United Airlines has been doing extremely well, and Delta as well. American Airlines, all of the airlines have been doing well. Industrials, in some ways that looks a lot stronger than some of the other indexes right now. Let's see if it can continue. Material sector, just trying to build a little shelf. Tight closes mean that there's not a lot of sellers, not a lot of buyers, but they're all keeping it in check. So that can be a positive. So E, trending sideways as well. And our housing sector continues to move higher. This continues to be a very strong sector. Lennar Homes is one of the stronger housing stocks over here. PHI as well. And GRBK, Green Brick Partners. Look at this move over here. This is huge on the 14% earnings increase. So let's take a look at what's moving the markets. iRobot for the approval of their sale. In the UK, this moves up quite a bit as Amazon tries to finish this one. Gaps up. Adobe, which was in the news on the AI, just continues to got another gap up, even though it's on the bottom of the gap right now. It's above a large number, 500. We'll just see if it can hold that. Coherent, laser processing heads, fiber optic cables, continues to just ratchet up more and more. Pretty amazing. Take a look at Unity Software. Looks like it's in breakout. It had actually broken out. There'd been an early buy right about here, but it's in true breakout zone right now, going back to February. And Squarespace, which was in the news, is gapping up into the breakout area. So we got one software for the biotech industry just continues to ratchet up. So let's take a look where the money's moving out of. Clearwater Analytics is down 4.26%. Cabot is dropping on 800% increase in volume, down 10%. Evotech, ADR, German developers, biotech, Brookfield Business, just down slightly. Moelis down 4%. Financial Advice and Humana continues its downturn. Take a look at two more here. Tour Lifestyle, trying to hold up there, but the trend has not been its friend. Look at that downturn. It may hit bottom or it may not. And Verve Therapeutics, down slightly, 1.51. Then software, Zoom Technologies provides a database on company managers for sales and marketing teams, is down close to 8%. That's our report for today. Hope you have a great day. Keep going after your activities and you will meet your goal. If you have any help with need any help with your financial goals, please feel to reach out to us and we'll get you on the straight and narrow path to achieve them. Thanks again. Mornings with Michael has been brought to you for informational, educational purposes only. Have a great day.